Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Noetic. I am CJ, and today we are going to be looking at another essay from the collection of essays from Michel de Montaigne. We are going to be looking at chapter 30 of book 1 with an essay titled Of Moderation, a really short 4-page essay that I think is packed with valuable information. So when I started to read this, I thought of the phrase that we've heard more than once in our lives: you can never have too much of a good thing. And the question is it true? Is that hold any weight? And through this essay, Montaigne is going to answer that question, and it's going to be resounding no. He wants us to think otherwise. So let's get right into it and how he dissects this question and answers it. So in his plight for moderation, Montaigne argues that even virtue can be had in excess, that it's not a game of semantics here that, doesn't virtue turn into vice if taken into excess? Montaigne is going to argue that no, if you have too much virtue, that is as bad as having too much vice. And he uses examples through history to explain this. Take, for instance, Henry III of France, a king so pious that it harmed France's relations with the Catholic Church. Or Posthumus, a dictator of antiquity whose sense of justice led him to sentence his own son to death. And the reason for that? For stepping inches out of line on the battlefield. Montaigne even argues that philosophy can cause more harm than good when taken too far. And we've seen this in a previous essay titled Of Pedantry, which is chapter 25. The archer who overshoots his mark, Montaigne writes, misses as well as he who falls short of it. Now, Montaigne is going to rein in this argument with the example of marriage, and he's going to attack not so much infidelity, but fidelity. First and foremost, Montaigne declares that marriage is a sacred bond. We are talking about a relationship that is a covenant not only with the persons involved, but also with God himself. Therefore, the pleasure within it, Montaigne is going to argue, must be restrained and austere. Doing otherwise will carry the couple beyond the bounds of reason and into lustful tendencies. For Montaigne, excessive sexual pleasure within a marriage and an illicit affair are one and the same. Moderation needs to be administered to distinct pleasures within marriage and in all walks of life. There are, however, exceptions that Montaigne observes. He mentions medicine that brings pain to the stomach in order to effect a cure, religious fasting whose pangs of hunger are supposed to bring one closer to God, and human death through sacrifice or battle that appeases heaven or nature. The thought process here is that curing or preventing affliction can only be done by further affliction. Excess brings about positive change in such cases. These are exceptions to the rule. The rule, however, still stands. As if our touch were infectious, Montaigne writes, we, by our handling, corrupt the things which in themselves are good and beautiful. We may grasp virtue in such a manner that she will become vicious if we embrace her with too violent and fierce a desire. What Montaigne is saying here is yes, you can have too much of a good thing. Good things are not the goal. Moderation is the goal. What Montaigne calls the fair and plain path that nature traces out for us. As vigilant as you are about keeping your vices in check, do so with your virtues. Again, as Montaigne wisely considered, missing the mark also means overshooting it. Thank you all very much. If you want more on Montaigne or anything else, please download the Noetic app. It is on YouTube, we are on SoundCloud, and if you want to dive into the app, then you can also download it on Google Play and on the App Store. Good day.